Hello, this is Afful Banson, and welcome to the Young Achievers Network. I trust that these podcasts are helping you drive your life forward in the direction that you want. Before we go any further, I want you to like this video, share it with friends, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that every time we upload a new podcast, you'll be notified. Don't forget to comment below and let me know how these podcasts are helping you. Today we are looking at the topic, the power to do exploits. The power to do exploits. Let's do a little definition work before we delve into the details. Let's look at power. Power is simply the ability to do something. That's all power is, the ability to do something. And what we use that power to do, or we fail to use that power to do, will determine what our lives become. We have the power to make choices. We have the power to act. We have the power to do things. We have the power to study. We have the power to explore. We have the power to do so many things. If we use this power to keep our lives where we are by using the power to come up with excuses, we will not become the kind of person we are capable of. We will not have the kind of success we are capable of having. If, on the other hand, we use that power to make choices that will move our lives forward, to do things that will make us better, to enable us make the world a better place for ourselves and for others, then we will see the kind of success that we want. So all of us have been given the power to succeed. But not everyone is succeeding because not everyone is using the power in the way they can really use it. The word exploits is simply a notable, memorable, or heroic act. So an exploit is a notable act, something that you do that people take notice of. It is something that people cannot ignore. It is something that people cannot just brush aside. It captures people's attention. It arrests their imagination. A memorable thing is something that people cannot forget. A heroic act is something that is dangerous, something that is life-threatening, but something that also benefits. These are the definitions of the word power and the word exploits. Now let's look at the traits of an exploit. What are the traits of an exploit? Number one, an exploit involves the risk of one's own life for the benefit of others. When you are doing an exploit, when you are carrying out an exploit, it is not just for your own benefit, it is for the benefit of others. And it also involves the risking of your own life. In carrying out an exploit, you could lose your life in the process. Number two, it is a selfless act that benefits others, many of whom you may never meet. An exploit is a selfless act. You look at how others will benefit, and many of those others you will never ever meet. Number three, an exploit involves doing something that is deemed as impossible. When something is deemed as impossible, cannot be done, too difficult, too hard, no human being can do this, and you do it, that is an exploit. Now, most people deem something as impossible because of the following reasons. Number one, it can't be done by a human being. Maybe a superhuman, maybe an alien race can do this, but a normal human being cannot do this. Number two, it can't be done due to the lack of resources. Perhaps where you are and the resources available for you hinder you from doing that, and so you claim that this thing is impossible. Number three, it can't be done in one lifetime. You might need 2 lifetimes or 3 lifetimes or perhaps 1,000 lifetimes to do that. Number four, it can't be done from the location you are at. Some people believe that the country they are in is not a country they can prosper in. Some people believe that if they are living in Nigeria, they cannot prosper there, and so they must relocate to Spain or America or UK. Some believe that if they are living in Rwanda or South Africa or Ghana or the Philippines or Singapore or China or Hong Kong, they cannot excel. Therefore, they must relocate to another place. Some may even relocate to a different place in the same country. Well, let me tell you this. There are people in your country who are also succeeding, and there are people in your location, in your locality, who are succeeding. So success has very little to do with location. It has more to do with how well you use the resources that are available to you and the choices that you make. There is a Nigerian proverb that says, a lizard in Nigeria can never become a crocodile in London. In other words, wherever you go with your attitude, you go with your character, and you go with your skills. So if you have no skills, if you have no character, if your attitude is terrible, you can never succeed in another country. So before you think of relocating, think of changing your attitude, think of upgrading your skills, think of retooling yourself, and think of upgrading your mindset and your attitude. If still there is the need to relocate, then you can relocate. Number 5, it can't be done at the stage you are in. In other words, you are at this stage in life and you want to do something, and the thing is classified as impossible because you cannot do it at the stage you are at. Well, what you have to do is do what you can to move to the next stage of your life, and then use the resources to move to the next stage of your life. And it might take you 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. But if you are patient and if you are persistent, you will succeed. You will be able to achieve that exploit. Now, how do we empower ourselves to do exploits? Because without the power, we can't do exploits. Without empowering ourselves, we cannot do exploits. We cannot make this world a better place for ourselves and for other people. We cannot do things that are notable, that are memorable, and that some might deem as impossible. How do we empower ourselves for exploits? Number 1, discover your purpose and pursue it. What is your purpose in life? Why are you here? What is it that gives you joy, that gives you excitement, that gives you this sense of living? What is it that makes your life worthwhile? What one thing, if you could just do one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Find your purpose. It is the key to your happiness. It is the key to your fulfillment. It is your key to your progress in life. Number 2, never give up. There will be tough times. There will be hard times. It might take longer to achieve this exploit than you planned. But if you decide never to give up, and you plan that it will take 15 years and it takes you 20 years, you will still succeed because you never gave up. Number 3, keep God's covenant. God has a covenant, and in that covenant, there are laws for success. The Bible says in Joshua 1:8 that this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate therein day and night, and observe to practice everything that is in the law. Then you shall make your way prosperous, and you shall have good success. So keep the covenant of God. Number 4, depart from wickedness. You cannot be a wicked person and prosper all the days of your life. Your days of wickedness will catch up with you. Now, the word wickedness comes from the word wicker, which means pliable or twistable branches or twigs. When someone is wicked, they are twistable. They have a twisted mentality. They have this mindset that is twisted. In other words, I must take advantage of other people in order to succeed. I must take someone's life in order to succeed. I must make sure someone fails in order for me to succeed. I must make sure that someone dies before I succeed. That is wickedness, and we must depart from wickedness. Number 5, don't be easily flattered. If you are going to do exploits, you must have high standards. You should not be the kind of person who is easily flattered. You should not be the kind of person who is easily pleased. You do something and everybody is praising you, and then you develop a swollen head. You develop an inflated ego, thinking you are the best. You are easily flattered. People who do exploits, like the Steve Jobs, like the Elon Musks, like the Dr. Kwame Nkrumahs, like the people who have excelled, the Dr. Martin Luther Kings, the Serena Williams and the Venus Williams, and the Novak Djokovic's. These people are not easily flattered. They are not easily pleased. The accolades and the good words that people shower on them don't please them, because they have very high standards for themselves. Number 6, don't give a thought to what others think. Let others think what they want. Let others do what they want. Let them have their own opinions. If you learn not to care about what people think, you will accomplish so much with your life. The problem with this society is that we are too concerned with what other people think. And because we are so concerned with what other people think, we end up doing nothing. Because whenever we want to do something, we ask, what will this person say? What will that person say? What will my mother think? What will my father think? And so we end up doing nothing. Number 7, become strong through knowledge and character. Develop strength through knowledge and character. Steady, gather skill, retool yourself, develop your character. There is always a better version of you. There's always a higher, a more intelligent, more eloquent, a better, stronger, more powerful version of you. And all you have to do is bring that version out. It was Bishop T.D. Jakes who said many years ago, I think back in 2002, that there is a great person in you, and that person is screaming, trying to get out. Number 8, develop the habit of doing hard things. And at this point, I want to encourage you to listen to my podcast on the way of the master and how to do hard things. Develop the habit of doing hard things. Find hard things to do and do it. It's like this little ant that finds this piece of bread that is about 50 times bigger than it. And this ant will bite into that bread and pull it and back it up and back it up and back it up and back it up. And after minutes and maybe an hour, the ant is able to drag that bread, that piece of bread, into its hole. If the ant had given up, it would never have that bread. When you learn to do hard things, you will always experience success, because you will develop skill and you become stronger, better, and more intelligent. And remember, when you fail and you learn from your failures, you have not failed. You have only learned how not to succeed. Number 9, don't be afraid of failure. It's part of the package. Failure is part of the package. The road to success is paved with many, many failures. Many people have failed and given up, but the few have failed and still persisted. That is why we remember them. Finally, expect disappointments and discouragements and use them to strengthen your resolve. You will be disappointed by people. People will discourage you. People will tell you you are wasting your time. You are wasting your resources. Why persist? Why continue? Expect these things, but don't listen to them. Persist. Continue. Strive. Fight. Struggle. But keep moving. Keep moving. If you are crippled, crawl. If you are blind, learn to see with your ears. Learn to move on no matter what. And when people turn their back on you, decide to move on no matter what they say, no matter what they do. If you have to do this thing alone, Do it alone, and you will eventually succeed. This has been Afful Banson, and this is the Young Achievers Network. Don't forget to share this with your friends and give me the thumbs up. See you tomorrow. Sayonara.